going on, guys? We'll be breaking down UFC Louisville today. Quick little recap from last weekend's card. Did a little over 6 units on tracked bets, and then I was in my Uber over to the Prudential Center, and we threw a couple parlays in. But yeah, overall, man, did a little over like 10K last Saturday. Hit on, most of the chalk favorites came through. Had a couple. We were big on Jaw and ITD, the Holland sub, the Islam sub, but overall, man, good card. Just one of those ones where, yeah, there was like some value on some dogs, but a lot of value losers. You kind of just had to it's not overthinking a type of card, and then just don't bet on like Alex Morono. So on to this one, man. I think we have a pretty fun card. I think it'll be a lot of violence here. Unfortunately, we didn't get much on Saturday, but this card should, I think, deliver. And there's a lot of betting spots sticking out. There's a lot of value on the board. So let's get right into it. First fight of the night is Pooja versus Amanda Ryan. This is a pass for me. I haven't really even gotten to like tape it yet because I'll save it for the end of the week. But what I know of these two girls, maybe, like Amanda sub early, like the plus 225 number, but even there, I'm not really wanting to back either of these girls. Pooja, both these girls are a little undersized, but Pooja will be the smaller girl in there. Don't love some of her looks, over in one a couple years back. And, she has been finished a few times early. My only thing with like Ryan, like submission is, the KO, if you think the sub is live, the KO live is probably, probably live as well. But I wouldn't want to bet on either of these girls to like finish a fight. So next fight up, we got Taylor Lapilus and Cody Stamann. This is another pass for me. So like Taylor Lapilus minus 275. I mean, I get he's going to have a ton of advantages here on the feet. He's going to be the much like longer fighter, much cleaner striker, has good takedown defense. But this number is really wide. For him to be like near 75% in a fight that's, was it minus 300, like minus 350 to go the distance, like that's just kind of gross. Only thing with like Cody and like from a market perspective here, like he was probably, was he plus 230 to Merab, like probably the same price here to Merab Dvalishvili. And then I bet Saeed against Cody Stamann minus 185. So just from a market perspective, I mean, he's coming off that fight with Silva de Andrade, who, like, I rate, like, honestly, I'll be betting Silva next week, but onto this fight, I mean, I think Stamann, there's value there, but he'll probably, at best, like, lose a 29-28 decision. Like, I don't know, just wouldn't get to either guy here at the current line, and I'm not betting on Taylor Lapilus to, like, finish a fight, so it's probably the, decision minus EV, laying massive chalk on that, so... Next fight up, we got Eduarda Moura and Denise Gomes here. I bet on Eduarda Moura ITD plus 180. Had a lot of bets this card. I got a lot of CLV. Not on this one. I kind of jumped the gun. It's up to plus 200. Overall in this fight, I think, if you like Eduarda money line here at like minus 170, it's getting a little, a little wide. I do think if she covers that price, or even, her win, she's at what, 90% finish rate. She's nasty on the ground, whether that be, ground and pound. She's pretty good, submissions. She's just mean on top. Look, I'm not like fully sold on her wrestling, but she does have like an okay single. There's times where it's timed well, there's times where it's not timed the best, but if she does get this, she's on top here at all, I do think, the finish is live. So on the Gomes side, I bet her against was it Yasmin Uruguay, like plus, like, I don't know, 240, 250. It was like a crazy price on that fight. That was last July, and she really shouldn't be that wide money line against any like lower level girl in these divisions. She's so dangerous on the feet. That's kind of what's not like, I don't want to bet Eduarda here because on the feet, her chin's a little up, and that is like worrying if you're backing her at like minus 150, minus 180. So in this fight though, the thing I like really saw, so for Gomes, she's been doing more grappling. She has done some grappling competitions. I do think she's been working her ground game, but what I don't like, and it's in that Angela Hill fight, and all credit to Angela Hill, like great fighter, but my problem with Gomes there, she goes for a trip early. Like she was the one even trying to like wrestle Angela, and she goes for a trip, ends up on bottom, and I don't know, ends up in like a north-south position, and like I think Mora here will get to the back and transition a little bit better than Angela Hill there. Look, Angela Hill's grappling is obviously getting better and improving too at her age, which is crazy. But I think Mora is a little more dangerous if she gets like top time here, which I do think she does. And a lot of Hill's, she was doing a lot of judo throws, but when she did switch, there's a one single leg that she got with ease, man. And Gomes, like, I just don't think she has no career submissions. She's starting to like kind of fish for them on the ground. I think, like I mentioned, she could go for a trip here and end up on bottom, even if she's looking great on the feet. Like, she could just decide, I'm gonna take her down. Wouldn't shock me. I just think there's a decent, if this hits the mat, which I do think it does, I think there's a decent shot that Mora finishes this fight. I think there's value on the knockout as well. I opened that up. It's a little over like plus 600. I think it came down a bit, but yeah, man, give me more ITD here, half unit. I think this under is good, plus 116. I just personally, I wanted a little bit more on it. I thought, if you think Mora's covering this price tag, man, or you're considering Mora money line, just bet the ITD. Like, I went half unit there. So next fight up, we got Daniel Marcos and Sexy Mexi, John Castaneda. Before doing any tape here, I thought I was gonna like Castaneda. You have, wrestling upside. I like pace. I like the pressure. He's more UFC tested. We just know what he is at this level. And then I get into tape, and I'm like, oh shit. My problem with Daniel Marcos, I think I just overvalued like that Davey Grant performance. I just don't like that look there. And second UFC fight or third UFC fight there, and he's flying out like a decent bit, fighting Davey Grant, who is it's not the easiest matchup. And I think, which is what I just didn't like, he was so willing to just like exchange leg kicks. He took too long to make his reads there. And what was it, 6 minutes before he landed his first like strike to the head? It was something wild. But then you see him against Arichi Long, and he looked clean there. I know like Arichi Long's not the best. He doesn't have good footwork. He's kind of stagnant, doesn't move too much. And but Marcos like off the rip was just piecing up Arichi Long. Really liked how his hands looked there. Really liked just how he sees shots, man. Like he's very good defensively. And I think on the Castaneda side, that's what I worry about him here is Castaneda I like the pace, I like the pressure, but I feel like a lot of times, like Willie Cat did it, you're kind of able to just like turn that pace and pressure back on him. Like, I don't know what it is. He'll have like 2-3 minutes where he's like, pushing someone back, he's throwing that like that head kick, he's switching stance, wrestling a bit, like just kind of just grinding it out, and then all of a sudden he'll get pushed in the back foot for a couple minutes, eat some big shots. I just don't love some of the looks defensively. Willie Cat was able to hurt him, and then eventually put him out, had some like big body shots, and then was it like a knee? And then even Gafarov had some moments in their fight where there was a point deduction there, but I don't know. I think for Castaneda, yes, he has a wrestling upside, but who is he really like controlling? I mean, most of his fights, he'll get like a takedown or two, but he's only getting like 2-3 minutes of control. I don't think, look, man, like, I know technically speaking, he should have like the wrestling upside, which, and early on, he does look really clean. But as his fight progresses, I think Marcos is going to make a ton of good reads. He'll probably look at the fresher fighter, and just down the stretch, he can, not style on him, but he should be getting ahead of Castaneda in the striking here. So I bet 1.1 units on Daniel Marcos money line. From a prop perspective, I mean, it's probably a decision, but, I do think late props possibly value. I'm not going to get there, I don't think, but I do think he could, finish Castaneda down the stretch, maybe round 3. Fight up is Andrea Lee versus Montana De La Rosa. Man, this is a pass. Maybe Andrea Lee, early numbers, but I don't want to be backing her at this point of her UFC career. Neither girl I would want to really put money on ever. So next fight up, we got Brad Katona and Jesse Butler. I played Brad Katona ITD here, plus 210 for a half unit. I mean, look, it's not even the most passionate take. I just don't think Jesse Butler is this level. I think Butler here on the feet, I mean, defensively, he's just irresponsible. He's pretty hittable. I think he's, supposedly, he's a grappler, but I think Brad Katona is going to be the much better grappler of the two. Brad Katona, if this plays out on the feet, I think he, look, man, he doesn't have many finishes, but I do think the knockout sneaky here. And then on the ground, I mean, look, Brad Katona tapped like Bryce Mitchell. So at the end of the day, like, this really is the definition of like a levels fight. I don't think Jesse Butler belongs here. And if Katona was to finish anyone, it would be this fight. At plus 210, I'm fine with taking the chance here that, Katona, look, he's not some great finisher, but like I said, man, I just don't see Butler belonging here. So, yeah, give me Katona ITD. Next fight up, we got Carlos Prates and Charlie Radke. Look, I bet on both these guys. I bet Prates massive against Trevin Giles. Put, like, maybe an over 4 units, man. It had been like, 4.4 units or something ridiculous there. And didn't like the looks there. Giles came out with an okay game plan, kind of leg kicked early, pushed him back a bit. Prates defensively, I love his Muay Thai, but he's just a little willing to, like trade a bit. He's not afraid of being hit. He's looking to counter a bit. And then for Radke here, I just find it tough to see. Radke's upside early is his, his wrestling, his grappling. He can grind this out a bit. But I have a hard time. It may not be the easiest task to get Prates down. Maybe when he gets him down, there's a possibility he can, get some control early. I just think at some point Prates will find the chin here. We did see Radke knocked out. It was a couple years back, man, like 2021 against that guy Montalvo. And look, I know Radke's improved a lot since then, but Prates can put anyone out. And at plus 135 is where I got the KO, like half unit. That is, I think covering the majority of his win condition here. If this did somehow get to the scorecards, we saw Prates lose minutes against Giles. And that's why I would be a little worried about backing him at like minus 230 here. But if he does cover that price tag, it's a knockout. And I think Radke defensively, look, I think when he gets in close, he has good hands himself. But overall, I think Prates is going to be a lot sharper on the feet. Love the knees. I mean, like, teeps are effective. Like, I'll be honest, like, teeps are very effective. I like the teeps. And then, when he does let his hands go, and he's looking for openings, and I think Radke will give them to him. So, give me Prates KO here. Like I said, wouldn't play the money line, but plus 135 KO for half unit. Next fight up, we got Ludovic Klein and Thiago Moises. This is my heaviest position on the card. I got a few bets here. So first one I locked in was the under 2.5 plus 120. I don't think this should be a hot take. I think, we got a striker grappler matchup where if either guy's finding success, they're probably like finishing. We've seen Klein submitted years back in the past, and we have seen Moises kind of flake a little bit when my biggest one, there's no issue with the BSD performance. Like, BSD, look, high level guy, but I don't think Joel Alvarez, like, I know he looked good against DeKaze too, but I just don't think, like, PJJ bump Joel Alvarez. I know his striking's improving, but I just don't think he should be walking you down like that and just putting it on Moises. It ended up being a TKO. It was pretty brutal, and he didn't have an answer. And I look at Klein, look at his career, what was this, it's been up at lightweight now. It's a couple fights in, man. He's been fighting at lightweight for probably like 2 years, 3. But I think his power is starting to show more, whether that be, he's filled into the weight class, whether that be the steroids. I mean, this guy's juiced up. But I think Ludovic Klein knockout early is a pretty live outcome. Love the head kicks. His hands are solid, and I just think he's going to be like on the feet. If Moises can't get him down early, like, Klein can tee off here and I think put him away. So I do have Klein knockout plus 415 for half unit there. And then I have 1.3 units on Ludovic Klein by money line. So on this fight right now, I have 2.8 units. Pretty much if everything happens, I'm fading Moises' decision. That would be like a worst case scenario here and lose all my bets. But I don't think, even if this goes to decision, I do favor, I favor Klein a bit here. I just don't think he's going to have the most success getting, Ludwig Klein down early. So the striking, I mean, look, I heavily favor Klein, you know, at range and in close here on their striking. And Moises too, man. It's not like this guy even practically wrestles that much. What's best case scenario here if you're back in Moises? Like, if he doesn't get that first takedown, is he gonna shoot a ton of takedowns here? Like, he doesn't really do that much. And I do worry about Moises' submission. That's why I have partially that under, that plus 120 number. But I think this is a Klein matchup. I think it's a good spot for him. So, yeah, like I said, got a couple bets here. The under for a full unit, Ludwig Klein for 1.3 units, and then Klein KO for plus 415 for a half unit, man. Not going to even go, like, that deep here because there's a lot of fights on this card, but I think Klein will keep it standing early, and I think he finds a knockout in round 1 or 2. So next fight up, we got Miguel Baeza versus Punahele Soriano. I bet Miguel Baeza here at minus 160 for 1.6 units. I do have Miguel Baeza submission plus 800, hit that the opener for 0.3 units. I think Puna is a complete fade at this point. This guy, let's look at his like UFC career, and he's someone that I think the market like completely got wrong. This guy was favorite over Kopylov, massive chalk in like a lot of his fights, and like you look at Puna, even that Dalcha fight, man. Round 1's competitive against Dalcha. Dalcha actually dropped Puna with a leg kick there, and then what happened? Yeah, end of round 1, Dalcha's rib kind of like popped out a little bit, looked a little funky. And then, yeah, start round 2, within a couple seconds, Puna knocks him out with that left hand. But that's all he does. All he does is throw that left hand. He's pretty slow. I mean, he's moving down here into 170. He's never fought at 170 before. Don't really understand it all. He can't offensively wrestle that much because his gas tank is so bad. Honestly, like, I feel like the reason why, look, Miguel Baeza has had his moments too. He is coming off 3 losses, 2-year layoff, and 2 knockouts in his last 2 fights. Chaos kind of caught him. Miguel Baeza has a way to like find ways to lose fights, but hear me out. So Chaos Williams, round 1, it's like relatively pretty competitive, him and Chaos. And then, you know, his corner told him, like, just don't spam the leg kicks pretty much. And he went back to it. He landed a big leg kick on Chaos. He hurt him with that leg kick, and he just immediately goes to throw another calf kick. And, you know, Chaos, a little off balance, wings a big shot, follows through with the next one, and just puts him out. So, not a terrible look. You know, you get knocked out by Chaos. I know people want to talk shit on, like, Andre Fiallo, but the truth is that this guy was, like, minus 150 over Jake Matthews, and everyone played him. Fiallo was pick'em with Muslim Salikov, and everyone played him. So I just think, you know, yes, in hindsight, we've learned that his chin is gone. But at the time, I bet Fiallo over Miguel Baeza. Like, the market was, it's crazy how fast, like, market sentiment changes when, look, yes, his chin's gone, but at the time, he was, you know, got 2 UFC wins, and then people were pretty high on his skill there. So in this fight, I do think Puna is KO or bust. That is lined at plus 300, Puna KO. So if the bookmakers were offering Puna not by KO, they would line it at about minus 400. That's just how they price these. It would probably even be juiced to minus 450 because they have like an added vig when they do these kind of props. But what I'm getting at is I think Puna is completely KO or bust here. And I just don't see him submitting Miguel Baeza, and I don't see him winning a decision here. He's going to gas out. So to pay minus 160 to fade Puna KO, I'm happy with that. So like I said, I think the sub is live too. For some reason, I have this feeling that Puna is going to come out and, like, you know, he just got outstruck by Dustin Stoltzfus. He got, you know, pieced up by Kopylov the fight before that. I feel like he's not as confident as his early career on the feet. I wouldn't be shocked if Puna comes out here, like, wrestling a bit and then just gets, like, subbed pretty quickly by the better grappler. So give me Miguel Baeza here. Like I said, 1.6 units on the money line, and then 0.3 units on the submission prop. Next fight up is Zach Reese versus Julian Marquez. I'll be honest, I haven't got to tape this one yet. First glance, though, I lean to Marquez's side. We just don't know what it looks like if Zach Reese extends. I faded Reese with Cody Brundage in his last fight, so that tells you like what I think of him. If I'm backing Cody Brundage in any fight, but overall, man, I think Marquez, if he can survive round one, there's a lot of question marks on the Zach Reese side. Now, you can say the same about Marquez, that his gas tank hasn't looked great, but he's just a little more UFC tested, has faced a better competition here, and I think he's going to be a little bit more dangerous in this fight. So I think it's Marquez or a pass, but I have to do more tape. Next fight up, we got Bruno Ferreira and Dustin Stoltzfus. Wish I was getting a playable number on Bruno Ferreira here, but we're not, so it's just a pass right now. I think, you know, early on, Bruno Ferreira is very live to finish this fight. He does put a lot into everything he does, so there is a world where he can gas out, and Stoltzfus could, you know, possibly, it could be like a round 3 or like round 3 decision for Stoltzfus, but I'm not going to get there, and round 1 Ferreira numbers are just garbage, so it's a pass. Next fight up, we got Raul Rosas Jr. and Ricky Turcios. I was thinking maybe Raul Rosas submission, but it's tough, man. I think sometimes his cardio narrative is a bit overblown, so I backed Christian Rodriguez there. And C-Rod just has a way to make people work. We saw it against JSP, we saw it against Dolgarian, we saw it against Rosas. Rosas kind of adrenaline dumped early there. It was a bit spazzy, just doing too much, and he gassed out in that fight. And, you know, look, I bet even C-Rod round 3, but at least Rosas, he didn't, like, completely quit in there. I mean, look, he adrenaline dumped early, and he had no cardio left, and he's still pretty young. I did bet his round 1 KO over Terrence Mitchell, just playing contrarian angles there. I'll do that a lot. But in this fight specifically, I think Raul Rosas is going to get him down early at a pretty high clip. But Turcios can probably stay defensive. He has good scrambles. But, yeah, I just don't think Turcios is the guy to fade, like, Raw with. And I would just need more than this plus 184 when we were getting C-Rod plus, like, 205. So, yeah, right now it's the pass. Like I said, I was eyeing the Raul Rosas Jr. submission at plus 265. That's down to plus 150 now. So, don't really like that number. Next up, we got the co-main event, Dustin Jacoby versus Dom Reyes. Another pass, man. Most of my bets here were on the prelims, I'll be honest. So in this fight, like specifically, I just don't want to back Dom Reyes. You're not getting an edge fading his chin here at like KO at Pick'em. Like Dustin Jacoby has sparked some guys in round 1. But would I cap that, his KO at like Pick'em? No, not really. There's a world where Dom Reyes' chin does hold up and this plays out extremely competitive. Do you really want to lay like minus 220 on like 225 on Jacoby here after that Alonzo performance, after that like Azat performance? Like this guy has not been performing well at big chalk numbers, and technically this is a step down for Dom Reyes, but I don't want to back Dom Reyes either. So I was thinking about the overs just to fade the chin narrative, but they're not even good either. So I guess like the best thing to bet would be the plus 300 round 1, but that's gross. That's gross to bet that on a Jacoby round 1. So just a pass. Finally, guys, main event, Jared Cannonier and Nasruddin Imavov. I'm considering a bet on Cannonier here. It's tough because obviously you have the 40-year-old part of this, which makes it very difficult to like play him pre-fight. But he's looked great as of recent. You know, I bet Cannonier against Brunson. I bet him against Strickland. I actually bet Nasruddin against Strickland too. And, you know, you look at Imavov, and he's had some good performances, but I think his success is a bit front-loaded. Don't love his gas tank. I don't think he can wrestle Jared Cannonier at a very high clip. And on the feet, I think Cannonier's a better striker. The only worry for Jared, I mentioned, the age. And, you know, Vettori hurt him in round 1, too. There's been a couple times where, I don't know, Cannonier's looked great. So I don't feel like he is, you know, falling off. But, like, Brunson knocked him down, too. So there is a world where Imavov can spark him early. If he doesn't, I think Cannonier is clearly going to be the side. He should win the better minutes here down the stretch. But yeah, I just pre-fight, I think I said Imavov can find some. The reach goes to Cannonier. Imavov's gonna be the younger fighter, 12 years, has a wrestling upside, will be a little bit taller fighter, And, you know, just momentum, too, as being the younger guy. But the thing is, I think, you know, if we get a live number end around round 1, round 2, like, I think we can get better plus money on Cannonier. I'll consider the Jared Cannonier late props because I don't think, look, man, if that wasn't Marvin Vettori, anyone else getting knocked out if you take 240 shots from Jared Cannonier. Now, part of that was Vettori was just, like, very hittable, but I don't think, you know, we've seen Bivov slow down before. We saw it in the Buckley fight. We saw it, you know, in the Dolidze fight, he slowed down. He slowed down against Strickland, and Strickland was one on short notice. I think Cannonier, you know, there's the plus 2,500 numbers you're getting on like round 4, round 5. It's not a bad way to play them. But yeah, right now for me, man, I'm going to do more tape on this one. Like I said, there's a lot of fights in this card and some fighters I wasn't as familiar with. So I had to, you know, just do a lot of tape. But for now, man, those are my bets for UFC Louisville. You know, maybe if I add a bit as I do more tape, maybe I'll do another video later in the week. But if you like the video, man, please like, subscribe. Let's make some money this weekend.